Brothers and sisters of Africa, watch this video until the very end. My people, my comrades in this great struggle. Today I speak to you not with hesitation, not with fear, but with the fire of truth burning in my heart. They believe they can silence us. They believe they can intimidate us. They believe that with their papers, their so-called international warrants, they can bend the will of an entire continent. But I stand before you to say this. Let Interpol issue whatever warrant it desires, but the people of Africa do not bow to Interpol. We do not bow to France. We do not bow to the United States. We do not bow to the European Union. Allow me to be perfectly clear. This arrest warrant has nothing to do with justice. It has nothing to do with law. It has nothing to do with peace or security. This warrant is a weapon of imperialism, forged in the very same workshops where they forged slavery, colonization, and the theft of our minerals. It is nothing more than a political tool, a desperate attempt by those who are watching their empire crumble, by those who are witnessing Africa rise once again. They call me a danger. They say I am destabilizing their order. But I must ask, whose order? Whose peace? Whose law was it? Was it Africans who enslaved Europeans and shipped them across oceans? Was it Africans who stole lands, destroyed cultures, and drew artificial borders with blood and greed? Was it Africans who bombed nations, toppled governments, and turned the Middle East into ruins? No, it was them. It was their so-called civilized world that has fed on the blood of others for centuries. And today, because one African soldier dares to say enough, they mobilized Interpol to silence him. This is what I say to Interpol. You are not neutral. You are not an organization of justice. You are the long arm of those who cannot win on the battlefield of ideas. So they hide behind your red notices and your bureaucracy. But you have made a grave error. You think arrest warrants can stop revolutions. You believe papers can chain a people who have already shattered the shackles of colonization. Let me tell you, your warrant is nothing but an insult. A piece of paper that will only strengthen our resolve. Donald Trump, Emmanuel Macron, the bureaucrats in Brussels. I speak to you directly. You threaten us because of our resources, because of our gold, our uranium, our oil, our fertile lands. You want us to remain suppliers of raw materials, beggars in our own house. But we have seen through your lies. You cloak your greed with words like democracy, human rights, and global security. Yet your history shows the exact opposite. You support dictators when they serve your companies. You overthrow leaders when they defend their people. You fund wars when they open paths for your corporations. And now, because we are declaring that Africa will own its own destiny, you turn Interpol into your hunting dog. But listen carefully. I am not afraid. Africa is not afraid. You can threaten me with prison. You can threaten me with exile. You can threaten me with death. But what you cannot do is break the will of millions who have awakened. The youth of Africa have risen. The workers of Africa have risen. The farmers of Africa have risen. They have decided. No more exploitation, no more humiliation, no more puppets dancing to the West. Do you know why this warrant backfired the moment it was issued? Because it exposed the truth. It revealed that the so-called international system is not about fairness. It is about control. Africans who were still doubting now see clearly. This is not about Ibrahim Traoré. This is about every African who refuses to sell their minerals for scraps. About every African who refuses to kneel before Paris or Washington. I am merely a voice. But behind me stands a generation that has sworn, never again. Let them call me a rebel. Let them call me a dictator. Let them call me a criminal. Their insults are badges of honor. Because every African leader who ever stood tall for his people was slandered, demonized, hunted. Patrice Lumumba was called dangerous. Thomas Sankara was called dangerous. Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist. Kwame Nkrumah was called a threat. And now, because I continue in their path, they add my name to that list. But I tell you, if that is the company I keep, I accept it proudly. What they fear most is not me. It is the unity of Africa. They tremble at the thought of Africans saying, our gold stays in Africa. Our uranium powers African homes. Our oil fuels African industries. Our land grows food for African children. They fear the end of their parasitic lifestyle, where they live in luxury while we die in poverty. They fear a continent that no longer allows foreign companies to rob it blind. A continent that no longer obeys orders from Paris, London, Brussels, or Washington. That is what they fear, and that is why they hide behind Interpol. Macron, You dare to speak of liberty, equality, fraternity. Yet your hands drip with African blood. You sit in your palace in Paris, living on wealth stolen from Niger's uranium, from Mali's gold, from the sweat of Burkina Faso. And you believe a warrant will make us crawl back to you? No, Macron. France is finished in Africa. Your arrogance has expired. Trump, you shout about making America great again. But tell me, was America ever great for Africans? Was it great when millions were enslaved on plantations? Was it great when Africa's resources were drained to build your skyscrapers? You come with threats. You come with sanctions. But we know you. We know America's greatness is built on theft, on exploitation, on war. And we are no longer afraid. The European Union, with your endless committees and false diplomacy, you act as though you are guardians of morality. But the whole world sees your hypocrisy. You welcome dictators who bow to you. You celebrate elections that keep your stooges in power. But the moment an African leader says we will control our resources, you call him a criminal. You issue warrants. You prepare coups. You unleash propaganda. This is your justice. This is your democracy. But hear this. No matter what you do, Africa will be led. If I fall tomorrow, another will rise. If you jail me, the prisons will not hold the revolution. If you kill me, my blood will water the tree of African freedom. Do you understand? This is bigger than Ibrahim Traoré. This is about the soul of Africa. And I swear before God, not me, not a single African will bow. We will not sell our minerals. We will not sell our sovereignty. We will not sell our dignity. You can take your contracts, your bribes, your threats, and shove them back to the place they belong. Africa is not your mine, not your farm, not your playground. Africa is the land of free people, and free people cannot be enslaved again. Look at what they have done. They have tried to divide us. They have tried to pit brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, region against region. They have tried to tell us that the only way to survive is to serve them, to accept crumbs, to praise their flags while we starve. But we have opened our eyes. We see clearly now. We are not here to be their servants. We are here to be masters of our own destiny. Interpol, you think your warrants scare us. You think your notices are binding over our consciences. But let me remind you, the conscience of Africa is not for sale. It is not a commodity. It is not subject to your red stamps and signatures. Your paper is weak. Your threats are hollow. You can chase me across the world, but you cannot chase the truth from the hearts of Africans. And make no mistake, this is a message to all African leaders who hesitate, who compromise, who bend to foreign pressure. Your time is over. The era of puppets is finished. We are reclaiming our land, our minerals, our history, our dignity. You may sit in your offices and sign papers dictated from abroad, but history will remember those who stood, and history will remember those who bowed. I will not bow. I am not alone. The people will not bow. The youth will not bow. And the earth itself that nourishes us will not bow to their greed. You threaten sanctions. You threaten isolation. You threaten reputations. You call me a criminal, a rogue, a rebel. But I tell you, the only criminals are those who have stolen from Africa, who have colonized Africa, who have used Africa as a playground for centuries of exploitation. Every warrant you issue, every threat you make only exposes your corruption and cowardice. You are scared because we are awake. And when Africa awakens, the world trembles. I speak directly to Donald Trump again. You have spent your life building walls, building empires, building illusions of power. But you cannot build a wall around the African spirit. You cannot buy loyalty with money stolen from the sweat of African children. You cannot threaten a people who have survived centuries of slavery, colonization, and dictatorship. Africa remembers. Africa never forgets, and Africa will rise. Emmanuel Macron, you parade as a leader of progress, of diplomacy, of civilization. But let us call things by their name. You are a thief, a colonizer in spirit, if not in uniform. You speak of partnership, of aid, of cooperation, but we know your real agenda: control, theft, exploitation. You send Interpol as your messenger, hoping to intimidate, hoping to stop our progress. But you are too late. Africa is moving. Africa is reclaiming what is rightfully hers. And your warrants are nothing but a badge of your failure. European Union, you speak of rules, of norms, of morality. Yet you fund coups. You support dictators. You silence voices of resistance. You believe that issuing a warrant against me will silence the call for freedom. You believe that the chains of paper can hold a continent that has already broken its chains of oppression. You are mistaken. You are blinded by arrogance, by greed, by the belief that Africa will always remain weak. But we are strong. We are determined. And the people will not obey your orders. Interpol, hear this clearly. Your organization has been weaponized against the people of Africa. Your mandate, which claims to uphold justice, has become a tool of oppression. You pretend neutrality, but we see through your lies. You serve the interests of the powerful, not the vulnerable. You act on command from Washington, Paris, Brussels, because you fear losing the control you have maintained over Africa for centuries. But your fear will not stop us. Your papers will not stop us. Your threats will not stop us. We will not sell our minerals. We will not sell our sovereignty. We will not sell our dignity. Africa will be free. Africa will control its wealth. Africa will lead its own destiny. We are done being silent. We are done being obedient. We are done allowing foreigners to dictate who we are, how we live, and what we can achieve. Let every African hear me. This is your fight as much as mine. This is your destiny. The future of our children depends on our courage today. We cannot allow a handful of foreign powers to continue profiting from our labor while we remain impoverished. We cannot allow their banks, their corporations, and their governments to decide what is right for us. The time has come to reclaim Africa, and I, Ibrahim Traoré, will lead that charge. To those who doubt, who whisper that Africa cannot stand against the West, I say, look at our history. Look at the courage of our ancestors. Look at the heroes who have spilled their blood so we could breathe freely. Do you think we will betray their legacy for fear of Interpol? For fear of Macron? For fear of Trump? For fear of the European Union? No, we honor them by standing tall. We honor them by refusing to bow. We honor them by reclaiming what is ours. And let me address the issue of fear directly. Fear is a tool they use to control. Fear is a weapon, but it has no power over those who know who they are. I do not fear arrest. I do not fear threats. I do not fear violence. I fear only the betrayal of my people, the compromise of our dignity, the loss of Africa's freedom. And as long as I draw breath, I will fight. As long as I lead, we will not yield. Interpol, this is your moment of shame. Your warrant is not a victory. It is a confession that the West cannot win in Africa through dialogue, cannot win through cooperation, cannot win through respect. They can only win through threats, through intimidation, through fake justice. But we are immune to your paper chains. We are immune to your lies. We are immune to your fear. Let the world see this clearly. We are not subjects. We are not servants. We are not to be intimidated. Neither by red notices nor by legal threats will Africa be made to kneel. Africa will not compromise. Africa will not surrender. Our people, our land, and our future, we will defend them with every means available to us. And let this be heard by every foreign leader. Your threats are without meaning. Your words are hollow. Your power is fleeting. Africa is forever. Africa is on the rise. To my fellow Africans, I say, fear nothing. Stand beside me. Stand with your brothers and sisters. Stand for your children. The West may attempt to intimidate us, to split us apart, to divert our focus. Yet we remain united. Our resolve is firm, and we cannot be stopped. Our resources will be ours. Our destiny will be in our hands. We will guide Africa to greatness. And to the Western powers who watch and scheme, understand this. I will not retreat. I will not yield. I will not betray the faith of my people. Not I, nor a single African, will ever bow. We are awake. We are powerful, and we are free. You may try to silence one person, but the voice of Africa cannot be quieted. The spirit of Africa is unbreakable. The future of Africa is beyond theft. What is ours, we will reclaim. What is ours, we will build. What is ours, we will protect. And never again will we permit foreign powers to dictate our destiny. Let this arrest warrant be recalled not as a mark of my weakness, but as an emblem of our awakening, as a proclamation that Africa is rising, as evidence that the age of foreign domination has ended. I stand before you today filled with pride, unwavering, defiant, and hopeful. The warrant has not succeeded because Africa has already triumphed. The paper may bear signatures, but the will of the people is stronger than any ink. Threats may arrive, But the courage of millions will not be silenced. And though the West may plot, the future is Africa's, and Africa will never bow. So listen carefully, Macron, Trump, the EU, Interpol. Your efforts to frighten us are in vain. Your arrest warrant is a farce. Your threats are empty. Your empire is falling. And Africa is rising. We are not afraid. We are not weak. We are not subjects. And we will not bow. We will lead. We will defend. We will rise. Our land will be ours. Our resources will be ours. Our destiny will be ours. And no document, no threat, no empire can ever strip that from us. Not I, not one African. We are free. We are strong. And this will remain forever.